Good afternoon, and welcome to the Magic Forest. It's not sure where I should be looking actually, because of your projection. Um, anyway, it's cold in here. It's colder inside than it is out. So now I've got you on the screen, and you're recording. Yes, um, I can take you outside. I can't see you, but you can see me. I hope. Although this laptop um, has got some kind of problem. If you carry it gently, it works. It's my assumption, anyway. Technology is weird, like how, technology. Then that's why technology upsets me because it's like it's supposed to be science. That's what is science. Um, but it doesn't work. And you're like, science is the one thing that they tell us that works. And then just mad things with your laptops, you know? Like sometimes if I threw it on the floor, it would start working again. But it's gone beyond that now. The laptop has gone beyond the throwing on the floor fix. Oh, let me show you my flowers first. They're so nice. Oh, look at that. Beyond. Ooh, mm. They're having a sunbathe. It's quite good. He's called BR because it means fat in Vietnamese. And everyone say, but he's not that fat. But he's not that fat. But he kind of acts like fat because he's so lazy and funny. Uh, they don't look so impressive today, actually. I think yesterday was like their moment. Yesterday they looked like an explosion of loveliness. I might chop off the dead heads actually, because there's some young ones that still are okay. So the young ones don't want to miss their moment because the old ones is weighing them down. That's a good philosophy on life. The young ones don't want to miss their moment because the old ones is weighing them down. I mean, it could be said about culture in that sense, that culture in itself has to change because the world changes. And so when you become too overwhelmed with keeping tradition alive, um, and not keeping tradition alive is so important, but like those kind of things that need to change, like family values and what is a family unit? What does it consist of? Um, needs to change with the modern world. You know? Independence, in a sense, as well. If people are independent, it's not terrible. But then that's the main difference between like Asian culture and Western culture is the difference between collectivism and individualism. And like any kind of thing that you have to compare in culture, um, you know, collectivism has its pros and cons, and individualism has its pros and cons. Um, and every culture, every individual country's culture has pros and cons. Um, but as the world becomes one world, because the world becomes more connected, which is a beautiful thing. That's how you get along. That's how peace is achieved by everybody communicating, because that's what causes wars and problems is miscommunication. And so, the millennials, they can communicate so much better than the grown up, the adults or the old men, that are the old male psychopaths that are running the world. And they're not mostly white, despite popular belief. But they're all old and they're all psychopaths. Narcissistic psychopaths. Lovely in the garden. But then also with culture is that people often think of culture as being something that is fixed, like that. If you, this is me, I'm from the West Country in England. That's my culture, and it can't be changed. But actually, it's not true at all because you assimilate to wherever you go. And as you travel around and move to different places, even within England, I never really stayed in one place for a very long time. I think after I left home, like 4 years in Taiwan, no, 3 years in one place in Taiwan was the longest I'd stayed anywhere. In one house, I mean. So even I've been moving house if you weren't moving jobs or moving areas. Um, and so if you move around, you can choose like if a culture has a beautiful thing in it, then you can say, "Oh, I love that. I'm gonna have that on my own culture." Like when Germans, and we do this in England, like when we cheers, we go for eye contact, and we do it in England, but it's not of paramount importance. Like in England, everyone's kind of trying to do it, but it's not of paramount importance. But in German, it is of paramount importance. So that would be one thing. Now I thought that's beautiful. I'm going to adopt it to eye contact with cheers as being paramount importance. Um, so, so you take the good things and then you create your own culture of the good things, the choices that you've made. So you've chosen the good things from one culture. You've rejected the bad things from your own culture. What do you do with negative things from your own culture? You don't own them. You reject them. Um, and then you create your own culture, which is uh, based on choice. And so culture is not something that is fixed. And when I was teaching in international schools, a lot of the international, not just the students, but some of the teachers were like three generations of international school teachers. Um, and they have especially teenagers who have identity issues anyway, would have cultural identity issues. Like, I don't mind the sound of the cockerels, but when they do it like right next to you, move away. Um, And then it's like, right, well, what your own identity is gonna be influenced by all the cultures that you've been to or experienced, or that your parents are from. Because you could be culturally connected to your parents' culture, even if you've never been to where your parents are from. Um, but it's more about, discovering your identity and understanding um, what you own and what you don't own. Own your culture, own it, and make it your own. That's how you own it. It's beautiful here. It's weird though. Like I I enjoy being alone, as I've said to you before. But like usually when I'm alone, like it means I'm just doing stuff alone. But there's loads of people around, and I'm still communicating with people. But here it's just been like everyone in Vietnam is like everyone here has disappeared to their hometowns pretty much, and everyone um, is just doing their family's things. So it's it's really alone, alone. It's not alone surrounded by beautiful people. It's alone surrounded by nobody. I'm enjoying that, I guess. I'm embracing it. Like it's like what happens when you don't speak to anyone for 4 or 5 days? Do you start to go mad? I guess you go a bit mad because you go inside yourself, but then going inside yourself is often rewarded with information that you didn't know existed inside your head. So you're only going to learn yourself. If you're in a prison cell, you would be learn about yourself. You know yourself if nobody else. I just wanted to be a lighthouse keeper when I was young. And I had a childhood fantasy of being a lighthouse keeper. And I guess I was destined for solitude. Lighthouses usually have the most amazing views in the world because they're put on the highest point in the most beautiful place. Um, and then I remember I was watching telly when I was about 13 years old on the news, and the BBC News said like the last uh, lighthouse keeper in the country has been replaced by a computer. Damn it! I've got to start all over again. The job that I wanted does no longer exist. But I guess it's like a common artistic fantasy. Like the reality of being a lighthouse keeper is probably quite horrific and depressing. Um, I'm lonely, but but also it's a common artistic fantasy to fantasize about being in prison, being stuck in a prison with a sketchbook in your mind, and that's a normal artistic fantasy. And like what because the artists are always wanting space and wanting time and wanting quiet, and so I guess like prison's the ultimate space to work. Although again, it's a fantasy because I don't think any prison would be quiet at all. Anyway, I think I better take you back because I don't have a phone and you can't upload a video longer than 15 minutes if you don't have a SIM card. You wouldn't believe it. That's the thing. It's a real thing. If I'm really gentle with this, then it'll work. Hello, baby. Yeah. Oh, no. Bruce. Yeah. Ah, it's a new one. And he's like a North Vietnamese Chinese border kind of mountain dog, like a real mountain. So you have to carry the laptop like it's like a precious weight, and then the video will, in my, I don't know until I watch it back, might be some blood sections. Um, oh, today is the first day I have woken up. The first day, the first day, not just waking up, the first day I haven't had a pain yet. So, that